Hello, it's like here to show you the Dora the Explorer and automobile insurance. It's like you got with so far with insurance along with health insurance, and then could be other type of insurance coverages. But you got the Dora the Explorer. But here is that you have like many of ways. It's like you got then a part of it is that about getting insurance is a lot of times has pretty much has to deal with either a phone call or maybe a completed application or maybe paperwork. It's like a lot of times that a lot of people more or less they don't want to spend a few minutes of their time to fill out the paperwork, but it's like you have it to where that you got the say damaged windshield or a dent in the car or something like that if you were to have a car insurance. That a lot of times that no matter it's like depending on what could happen with the vehicle, is that a lot of times is that you would without insurance, then a lot of times, which I'm sure some states that would require insurance, but without insurance, then more or less you won't be able to pay too much for the cost of the damage. It's along with the flood insurance, and along with it's like you get the fire damage coverage, and then it's like you got along with the medical expenses, the insurance coverages, whatever insurance coverages that you can think of that more like that a lot of the reasons to maybe why some people don't have the insurance could be is because of let's just say that the unemployment or some that employment doesn't offer it, or not enough money in their pocket or something like that. But then one reasons could be is that of course they may not want to take time to make a phone call, or they get on the computer, or do it on a, let's say they're on their mobile phone, but a lot of times that it could be that they don't have the money. But of course, one of the reasons is because of is like having to deal with paperwork, and paperwork or page work that you fill out an application online. But it's like which I included these lines right here, is that a lot of times is that if you have 1, 2, or 3 sheets of paper, that a lot of times is that they ask you a few questions, maybe I don't know about true and false questions, but more or less about your income. One of them could be about your employment, and one of them about medical history or something. But you have these papers right here, and then a lot of times is that it's like for the big stack of papers, is that you complete the paperwork, and then a lot of times like the insurance companies is that more or less that they will keep that on record. But then and you would if there's anything that's incorrect on the paperwork, that you need to call for a change or whatever, change it online. But a lot of times is that they will more or less say that you are responsible for anything that any changes that may occur so far as on your insurance policy or something like that. But a lot of people don't even want to fill out the paperwork, or they do, or just too complicated or whatever. But one way to avoid that maybe is more or less is to take it one step at a time, and then more or less is that they didn't make a phone call, then that more likely they can maybe get information about that. But so far as Dora the Explorer, is that with Dora the Explorer, that more or less any kid, it's like who may not really understand health insurance too much, or really, or any type of automobile insurance, would probably say, if you just show them a lot of this stuff, then a lot of times that they would probably say that they're not going to bother with it right now. But who knows? I mean, how old do you really have to be in order to be working with paperwork? More or less is like some kids, they may wait until they're 15 or 18 to complete it, but then they can maybe think about it, is that the knowledge that they had to complete it, his course is in their memory. But the knowledge, the skills about how to complete it. And a lot of times that so far with the insurance, that a lot of times is that it could be pretty simple or it could be very hard. And a lot of times is that if you were to say you'll fill in the blank, is that you'll say you write on there the date. It's like the date could be one thing that you would write on the paperwork, and then along right there is for the budget. It's like the budget for how much how much you make a year or whatever, and then members of the household. But of course, it's like one insurance company may ask about the history, and a lot of times is that they would have that, maybe a lot of times have it on the records, but you have these 3-4 different things right here that a lot of times the paperwork may ask about. But a lot of times is that with the paperwork that that you don't want to bother with it, you don't want to mess with it. But a lot of times is that with paperwork, more or less it keeps everything up to date, and then then for sure that, if you have insurance or not. It's like keep up the payments. But a lot of people will probably say that I made a payment, but then insurance got canceled. But it's like the whole thing about it is that the insurance got canceled. Well, call them up just to find out if they put it back on the insurance plan. But it's been reactivated or whatever. But a lot of times it's that so far with so I got the IV right there. A lot of times we go to the hospital for any type of reason. You have a IV, which I'm sure a lot of people probably don't like those very much. But any situation that may come up to is like with so far as insurance, that more or less you would need insurance just for like backup. It's like if something accident were to happen, or if any type of emergency reason or whatever, that you have insurance to use. But so far with Dora the Explorer, and along with the insurance, so far as insurance, health insurance and automobile insurance, and along with any type of insurance, it's like so far with the insurance homework. And you got the homework along with the paperwork and then the page work, along with say that simple phone call and then the online assistance or whatever, and along with the the amount of money used to pay, and then along with following the paperwork. So far Dora the Explorer and Dora Explorer, and along with the automobile insurance plus color.